is up?
What's up, people? We are back with more of her story. I'm actually getting more sick. I have no idea how the fuck that's possible because I'm only inside, but nevertheless, it's time for us to do more digging. So in the previous video, a lot of the things that we have done was mainly try and find the differences between both of the twins, because both of them have like the different personality traits and all that kind of thing. And I actually looked back in the clips of I saved some in the user session, and the one that spoke out to me, this one, was it this one? This one we saw at the very beginning.
Yes. I thought about telling Hannah. I felt guilty after the kiss. But then it began to feel like this was the way it should be. Sharing, like we had before. He never mentioned her to me. There was the Simon with me and the Simon with her. It was almost like it was a different Simon. But
so this is one of those clips that we watched in the beginning and didn't make a lot of sense to us, but now when you just watch it again after seeing more and more clips from before, this one starts making a lot more sense, because what she's basically saying here is, I felt guilty after the kiss. In previous clips she said that the husband met her while performing, because this is Eve, right? Met her while performing in a bar or club or whatever, and because of the fact that he found that she was very similar to his own wife, grown a liking to her, but he didn't say he had a wife. So what I think happened is that he actually cheated on his wife. We don't know why though, why he didn't tell. It could be that they possibly split up for a while or not, or he just flat out lied about it. But it seems like he cheated on Hannah with Eve, and then she felt guilty after the kiss. But I thought about telling Hannah, meaning Eve hasn't told Hannah about it. But then it feels like this is the way it should be, sharing like we had before. So maybe at a certain point, you know, where they were sharing the life, where they were like tag teaming in and out, like, yeah, this time it's my turn next, and then at some point that sort of stopped, and then it came back into play after this incident happened, which is basically the kiss. The fact that he found her and found Eve and actually liked her and sort of fell in love with her, I guess. Otherwise, why would you kiss her, right, if you're a married man? So alright, that's just an interesting clip from before, but what else? Right, before this video ends, I typed in story and stories. We didn't actually see any of the new ones that had stories. There are 2 new clips.
okay. Sounds weird. I'm not great at making up stories.
Are you sure? Lies, woman. Lies. No, she says she's not great at making up stories. I don't know. I mean, she looked at the picture and made up a whole story just from the picture alone.
Yes. I read a lot as a child and watched lots of TV. Then the doll's house we had, we still have in the attic. It's kind of a fairy castle. We used to play out there and make up our own stories.
Alright, so what we have done a lot of in the previous video was we basically focused a lot on the twins. But it actually, I mean, sure, it's valuable information and it's very interesting as well, but it doesn't bring us closer to finding out what has happened with Simon, which is what I'm going to try and do in this video, at least a little bit, because that's sort of the main goal, right? Trying to find out. I mean, it's called her story, she's telling her story, but I still think that the main goal is probably finding out what happened with Simon. I mean, we know he was murdered, but we don't know by who, by what. In one of the clips she sort of confessed, but we gotta find a lot more than that, you know? So I feel like one of the points of conflict is the kiss. I feel like that's a very important point that
Hannah
could...
was so smitten with Simon. She started getting jealous. Didn't want to share. Even the first date. We went to see Tom Cruise at the Old Gideon. We both went. Kept changing places in the toilet. We only had one best dress, so we had to keep swapping clothes. Must have thought we had terrible bladder problems. The next date, it was my turn. At the end, I let him kiss me. But that was it. We didn't want another Carl on our hands, and the Ouija board had said to hold back.
Carl?
After that, it was Hannah's turn, and she slept with him. Broke the rules. Deliberately broke the rules. She wanted to be the first to sleep with him. I mean, that's when she got pregnant. From that one time.
And that's why she said before as well, his magical sperm, right? So apparently, swapping in and out at an early age, at 17. What else? Because that's the first time that Hannah was the one that got pregnant. This is a point where they could both become angry towards each other because, well, Eve is like, what the hell, you broke the rules, and Hannah's like, yeah, but I really like him, and I don't know, fuck you, so stuff like that. That feels like this could be a point of where both the twins are like grow animosity towards each other. Hannah broke quote unquote rules by sleeping with Simon.
After the kiss, the next time, he took me back to the house, to our parents' house, to their house. So, it was definitely him. I sometimes think he wanted to get caught to prove to himself that we were different people. He told me about his marriage, told me how his wife was completely different to me. I almost burst out laughing.
Yeah, 'cause you're basically the same fucking person, right? So, obviously cheated on Hannah with Eve. That sounds freaking weird, right? But because it's Eve being Eve, not Eve pretending to be Hannah. With, I guess, real Eve, we'll just call it that. Tried to get caught, I guess. So that was blah 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 blah. Kiss. Cross that out. What's another important? I want to know who Carl is, but what was mentioned? Cheating. Something like cheating. Cheat.
Mum and Dad never knew what was going on. We got so good at it. We were so in sync that we'd use each other to cheat. If one of us had a hangover, the other one would go to school. Whoever was best at a subject would sit the exam. There were lots of differences between us. Some things one is better than the other at.
Alright, so cheated at school by swapping places there as well. Alright, cheat apparently isn't that much of an interesting subject. Carl. Who the fuck is Carl? Dang.
Was he my first?
So this is Eve?
No need to be so coy. No, he wasn't my first. That would have been Carl. He was a local boy in a band. He was a bit of a shit. But he was sexy. We were 15.
Whoa. Okay. Carl is Eve's first boyfriend at 15. So it seemed like besides the fact that Eve was also living part of Hannah's life, she was also leading her own life, of course, right? I mean, nobody knew she existed. There are no records of her actually being alive, because that's what she said as well. No one knows I exist. But because of that, just like this whole freedom to her, that besides the fact that she can pretend to be Hannah, I mean, with Hannah's approval, of course, but besides that, she can just leave. She's living a life of her own as well. At least she's sure she tries to hide and stuff, but you cannot just stay in your house hiding forever, right? There's got to be something inside of you that wants to go like, yeah, I want to do my own thing sometimes too. And she has definitely done that a couple of times.
No, I was 15. Carl was older, 17, I think. I was really into him, regardless of how he actually behaved. Lots of drunken teenage sex.
Okay.
We did it in a church once. Stupid. So he got tired of us and we split up after about 6 months. It was sad, but those early experiences, they help you realise who's really important to you, you know? Family.
Family. Family. We are family. La 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 la. Teenage sex, whatever.
Family. So, Carl fucked off, and then there were other boys here and there, and then Simon.
So, I mean, one of the things that could have happened as well, right? Because she mentioned that very early on, around when Hannah was still going to school, they would swap out places with school. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they swap places early on with Simon. Although they said when going on the first date, they actually did do that. So all the other boyfriends were apparently between 15 and 17. I don't know. Or it could be she's talking about when she says then Simon as herself, not as Hannah, so as Eve. A lot of boyfriends, then Simon. I don't know exactly what that means.
Differences? She's a better driver than me. She passed the test for us. I tried to take it and nearly crashed the car. Learned that you can't rely on confidence to get you through everything.
Ah, okay.
She is the shy one. She was especially shy around boys. If Hannah liked a boy, I would have to pursue him. It was that way with Carl. Hannah met him first. And she had such a crush. I let him take my virginity after a night that his band had played at. It got difficult. When I was with Carl, we would have sex, but Hannah couldn't let him see she was a virgin. She had lots of excuses. After a while, we decided that I should take Hannah's virginity.
What?
It's not that different to a bruise, pulling a tooth, a graze. We used a hairbrush.
Oh God.
In turns, though, I was always the one who seduced the boys. Until Simon.
The hell? What? So what we can tell from this, Eve can't drive. So the one that drove to Glasgow was definitely Hannah. Eve can't drive. Hannah is shy. Eve took Hannah's virginity. What the because they didn't want to fight. Because they were... So, for sure they were doing this swapping in and... It seems like... Because I originally thought at a certain point that maybe they stopped doing this. But it seems like They were just doing this continuously, always, pretty much. Eve took Hannah's surgery. What the hell? Alright, so let's cross car off. Let's put in another one. Virginity, I guess. That's probably some more stories. No, not much about that. Family. One more.
Yeah, when I was at school. I worked part-time in the front shop. It was sort of an extended family thing. My dad used to work there, my mum worked there before I was born. I took care of paperwork, filing, typing out invoices, that kind of thing. It was a good job for a girl back then. I didn't work a till or anything though. I was quite shy, so I wouldn't have liked to have worked a till.
I mean, we already knew that this was Hannah because she doesn't have a tattoo. But here she basically confirms, yeah, that she is the shy one. So, Hannah shy for sure. Alright, that's family. Oh, dead baby body. This one's at the top of the previous list. What? Dead baby? Oh god, here we go. This is interesting. There's two clips. This one Hannah, this one's Eve, and it's both about the same subject. So perhaps they'll say something slightly different. So we gotta just really pay attention to the tiny details here.
That's all that matters really. The baby. Simon's dead, but the baby, that's how he will live on. Our baby.
Okay, so the baby that she's mentioning is the second time that they got pregnant. So not the one at 17 obviously, but the second time, which is basically now, which is Eve who is pregnant. Eve is the one who is pregnant. Simon dead. The baby will be his legacy. Eve is pregnant. Not Hannah.
You're reaching here. And I don't know why. No, I've never cheated on anyone. I've never taken anything from anyone. Simon's dead. But I have my baby to get. Why are you trying to make me sad? Why are you so obsessed with sex and affairs?
Sex. Gotta find out next.
You cheated on your wife.
She's accusing the police officer. That's another interesting thing. That I mean, just even though they're both pretending to be the same person, yeah, they let things slip. Like in this video, which is obviously Hannah, she says the baby. Here, Eve says my baby. Eve's baby. Mad about police mentioning sex/cheating often. Alright, that's dead baby. I guess, I mean, sex is mentioned often, but you never know that there's tons of times where it'll be mentioned, right? Oh, look at the air quotations. Alright, here we go. This is Hannah.
Really? You're going to ask me about my sex life?
Yes.
Isn't that private?
No. We need to know everything. Doesn't want to share sex life. I mean, who does, right? I mean, obviously it's a private thing. But if it's important to the investigation...
How is your sex life?
Question dodge again. They don't really seem important. She just seems upset about it. Perhaps because Eve is the one who's pregnant.
So, Our sex life is probably fairly average for a couple after 10 years of marriage.
I mean, you can just tell that she's very upset about the fact that they're asking about this. About police asking about sex life.
No.
No.
You're talking to the wrong person if you think I'm some kind of slut. If you think I'm the kind of person that would have had sex with all those guys.
That would be Eve. So Hannah is a prude. Eve is a slut. Bam. Alright, can cross that one off. I mean, this was... What the hell, chit chat? How's it going? Not... Oh, dude. Not yet. No. I'll hang a bit longer. Buzz when you're ready. Oh, fuck. I'm not done yet. What the hell is that chit chat? Oh my god, that popped up out of nowhere. I'm not done yet. Oh god. Goosebumps are coming back in again. This was mentioned only once by, what's her name? By Eve? Because she's the one who has sex with strangers, right?
I was living in the attic.
We should look that up next.
Hard time. I was depressed. I was still pretty sick of the STD. And I came down one morning and they were dead. They were in bed and both had been sick. They'd thrown up a lot. And I slept through it. The police said it was the mushrooms they ate. Dad was a mushroom expert.
Mushroom expert?
He used to take us picking with him and he taught us how to recognize them. And there's no way you would pick death caps.
Unless he tried to commit suicide or kill.
That's what happened. They never even looked in the attic.
Oh my god. Holy shit, his face is getting so clear. Like, I'm definitely sure that the attic is the next key thing. So, right, what do we get out of that? Fuck. So this is Eve. The parents who they say die is definitely Hannah's, because Hannah is visibly more upset about the parents' death than Eve is, because it's not even Eve's parents, right? It's not Eve's real parents, or at least not. They were her real parents, but they didn't raise her, so they're even unaware of her existence. So Eve would be obviously less upset about it, because Florence is the one who raised her. So Eve seems less upset about the parents dying. That mushroom expert, I don't know. Alright, STD, attic, here we go. This is the next keyword. Like, this is mentioned so many times.
Yes. I inherited it from my parents, so it made sense to move back. Me and Simon. Felt like going back to old ways before the pregnancy. Reminded me of being a girl, the dollhouse in the attic, old things. We didn't sleep in my parents' bedroom for a long time. We decorated it as soon as we moved in, but it was another year before we started sleeping there.
Okay, so moving back in with parents. Not really much relevant, I think, in that clip.
Could the hairs have come from somewhere else? I mean,
hair?
Could they... We have a lot of dolls in the attic. There's a Rapunzel doll with long blonde hair. Could they have come from there?
Hair. Hair found? Possible evidence?
I'm not sure sure where the dollhouse came from.
Dollhouse mentioned so many times as well.
Don't know if it was given to them or they inherited it. And they wouldn't have had the money to buy it. It was so huge. It must have been taken up to the attic in parts and then reassembled up there. It's a beautiful thing. Wallpaper to scale, little furniture, lights work, mirrors, beds, big duvets and pillows. We spent hours and hours playing in it, invented all these characters and families who lived there. We wrote paperwork for them all, passports, diaries, gave them all really elaborate stories. Once, a moth got trapped in there. We'd left a light on.
Of course.
It was making the most horrendous noise. We tried to kill it, but it was tough. We ended up crushing it under a copy of the Arabian Nights.
Okay, so... Is she... Not sure where the dollhouse came from, but... We spent hours. Maybe she was hiding. I mean, what she mentioned in an earlier clip as well, that when Florence died, she went across the street. Perhaps she was secretly living with Hannah. So at her parents' house, in the attic, like hiding away from Hannah's parents, basically. And Eve just lived up in the attic. And then Hannah would just come there and they would play together sometimes. I don't know. Damn. Eve may be living in attic after Florence died. I mean, most of the video was actually just her describing a lot of the attic. The next thing I wrote down, this is probably not, I didn't find this keyword anywhere, but it's an important keyword if you're talking about a murder, talking about a murder case, or just about stuff like evidence and this kind of eyewitness. I mean, at a certain point they're asking about her alibi as well, so eyewitness might not, it's nothing. Okay, it was worth a shot at the very least. Weapon was mentioned once in an earlier video, not sure. Okay, that's the only one. Like I wrote down a lot of words from earlier, so we're just gonna go past them. Mistaken identity was mentioned only once as well. Yes. Dead at birth once. Birth, I mean, dead is a really generic word. Like, it's probably okay. Only one. 10 entries found.
Rehearsed. You ask me the same question, you'll get the same answer. Is that your evidence? Of course I've
Good
thought about
word,
what happened.
evidence.
It's all I've thought about. My husband is dead.
So we don't know who this one is. Like with every single date, 5 out of the 7 we know which one of the twins it is. The 2nd of July is one that we don't know about, and the very first, the 18th of June. So we don't know who is particularly talking in this one.
Rehearsed.
She seems offended about the fact that the police says it's rehearsed. Seems offended that the police think the interview might have been rehearsed ahead of time. That's a lot of text. Evidence. God damn it, that was a good word. Here she goes with the guitar again.
Really? Okay. Here's the rest. Made a body of a doctor, oh, the wind and the rain, till a fiddler with a fiddle came walking by, oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle bow of her long hair, oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, he made a fiddle bow of her long blonde hair, oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made fiddle pegs of her finger bows, oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, he made fiddle pegs from her finger bows,
Oh my god.
oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle out of her breastbone, oh, the wind and rain.
He made a fiddle out of
The
everything.
sound could pierce a heart of stone, oh, the dreadful wind and rain. But the only tune that the fiddle could play was, oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, the only tune that the fiddle could play was, oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Anything you sing may be used as evidence against you.
Exactly. Okay, so this is the second part of the song. Remember her singing this part of the song, and then she stopped saying, yeah, the last part is the worst or something like that, and or at least it sounds pretty morbid, right? Because apparently he killed her and made a fiddle out of every part of her freaking dead body. So second part of the song, rather morbid. We crossed out dead at birth. Evidence. Holy crap. Like, the only new thing that happened is that this thing popped up. And then we get to see the, oh god. So we can call, or we could just keep talking. I don't know what to do with that. Like, that could mean that the guy is saying, yeah, perhaps you found enough evidence to close the case, but I really want to find like all of the videos, of course, because I mean, sure, we have a general idea of what has happened, but if before I played this video, I haven't even accessed 50% of the database of the clips, so there's a whole lot more out there that I need to find, and I'd rather just be more accurate than guess, I guess. So yeah, I just want to make sure. So we're gonna end this video here. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe for more. In the next video, we're just gonna I mean, I'm crossing off more things than I'm writing on now, so I feel like we're at least getting closer towards the end, but still there's just so much more to look out for. So yeah, see you in the next video. Peace.